about Ariel Sharon and his passing.
Yeah, Ariel Sharon and Yitzhak Rabin were both former Army generals and considered to be conservative as can be.
Heroes, right, in their country.
Heroes, absolute heroes, right. Battlefield heroes. And yet, when they both got into being prime minister, they suddenly turned around and they embraced this plan of the elite, the global elite, called Oslo Accords. And the plan basically gives a Palestinian state to the Palestinians carved out of the land of Israel. And Ariel Sharon, virtually no conservative in all of Israel would ever believe that Ariel Sharon would turn around and abandon his conservative credentials and embrace this plan. And yet that's what he did. And he announced about a year before he carried it out, he announced that he was going to unilaterally withdraw from the Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
And about 5 months before he actually withdrew, a group of 10 prominent Kabbalistic priests, Jewish priests. The Kabbalah is a black magic satanic group. You've got the Kabbalah, which is bad enough. It's an occult interpretation of the Old Testament, but it's that mystic interpretation backed by downright black magic satanic power. And these 10 Kabbalistic priests held a ritual in which they put a killing curse on Ariel Sharon. And then they informed him that they had done so.
Wow.
Because in Satanism, the victim has to know ahead of time what's about to happen to him. It increases the power of the killing. And so, and being a pragmatic military man, I'm sure Ariel Sharon didn't even believe such a thing was possible.
Right.
But about 5 months later, shortly after he had ordered the withdrawal from Gaza, he went into the hospital for a relatively minor procedure and went into a coma. And he is now deteriorating. He's been there about 8 years now. His health is deteriorating, and they say that his organs are failing. They've assembled the family. It's just a matter of hours before he dies. So, and of course, like I said, the reason these Kabbalistic priests did this was because of their opposition to his Palestinian state idea, and he's going to die just as it looks like a rudimentary agreement is about to be reached with, John Kerry's in the Secretary of State. John Kerry is back in the region.
Yes.
It looks like there might be some sort of a rudimentary agreement about to occur. So he's going to die apparently just when the beginning of an agreement for a Palestinian state is going to occur. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I remember, I got a lot of information about the occult plan for the New World Order from a former Satanist by the name of Doc Marquis. And Doc Marquis in giving his testimony as to how he became a Christian, one event in particular just rocked him to his toenails, and within a month or so he was out of the coven. And what happened was a member of his coven came to him and, I've got a next door neighbor here that just is really obnoxious. He's a terrible individual, treats me badly, and he deserves. I want you to carry out a killing curse on him.
Well.
And so after talking to him for a little while, Doc agreed that this should happen. So he on the next new moon, he assembled his coven together, and they carried out a ritual to place a killing curse on this next door neighbor. And as soon as Doc had uttered the last bit of the formula of the ritual, a demon appeared in the circle that had been created for him to appear in. And he says, "Why have you summoned me?" And Doc says, "We have an enemy that needs to be killed. We want you to kill him." And of course, the police know that this sort of thing goes on. They call it a mystic killing. Anyway, this demon says, "All right, give me his name and address." And so as soon as Doc gave him the name and address, this demon went into an absolute conniption fit, scared everybody in the coven to death.
Huh.
He says, "How dare you ask me to call him? This man is a born-again Christian, and we can't touch him." Doc lost over half his coven that night, and his faith was so shaken that in less than 2 months later, he was gone.
Wow.
So there is such a thing in black magic witchcraft as a killing curse.
A killing curse. Wow.
When police detectives reach the conclusion that they're dealing with a mystical killing, they just pack all their stuff up and go home and mark it as a mystic killing and close the case, because there's no human did it. There's no DNA. There's no evidence. There's nothing. It is literally an impossible case to solve.